Hey, shh. Are you awake? Move over a little. Let me get under the blanket with you. It's freezing in my room and I couldn't be alone right now. My head is spinning, and if I stay in my bed staring at the ceiling for one more minute, I think I'm going to scream. And we can't have that, or the whole apartment will wake up and ask questions I'm not ready to answer. Can I just stay here? Just for a bit? Thank you. You're always so warm. It's nice. I need to tell you something. I haven't told anyone else. Not Clara, not the girls from class, nobody. I feel like if I say it out loud to them, they'll judge me. They'll tell me, I told you so, or look at me with that pitying face that I hate. But you never look at me like that. You just listen. And right now, I really need you to listen, because I feel like I've been living in a fever dream for the past month, and I just woke up. Remember how I've been kind of distant lately? How I've been skipping our movie nights and coming home at weird hours with my makeup smudged. I told you I was studying late at the library, or that I was picking up extra shifts at the cafe. I was lying. I'm sorry. I wasn't working. I was with him. I met someone. Well, I had met someone. Past tense. Because as of tonight, I decided that I hate him. I hate him so much, it actually burns in my chest. But God, even saying that makes me feel stupid, because 3 hours ago, I would have done literally anything he asked me to. Let me start from the beginning, okay? You need to understand why I got so wrapped up in this. You need to understand why I lost my mind. It started about a month ago, at that rooftop party the law students threw. You know, the one where the cops showed up at the end. I was there. I was standing by the railing, holding a warm beer, feeling bored, thinking about texting you to come pick me up. And then I saw him. His name is, let's just call him M. I don't even want to say his real name right now. He's a transfer student, a few years older than us. He wasn't talking to anyone. He was just leaning against the wall, smoking, watching the party like he was bored by it, like he was above it all. He had this look, dark eyes, messy hair, a leather jacket that looked like he'd actually ridden a motorcycle to get there. He looked dangerous. And you know me. You know I have this stupid, self-destructive button in my brain that gets pressed whenever I see a guy who looks like he could ruin my life. Our eyes met across the crowd, and I swear, I felt it in my stomach. Like a drop on a roller coaster. He didn't look away. He just stared at me, shameless, scanning me from my heels to my eyes. And then he smirked. Just a tiny, arrogant lift of the corner of his mouth. And then he crooked his finger, beckoning me over. And I went. Like a puppy. I walked right across the dance floor and stood in front of him. He didn't even say hello. He just leaned down, close enough that I could smell tobacco and expensive whiskey on his breath, and whispered, "You look like you're looking for trouble." My voice got stuck in my throat. I should have laughed. I should have walked away. But I just looked up at him and said, "Maybe I am." That was it. That was the moment I lost control. We left the party 5 minutes later. We didn't even go back to his place or mine initially. We just walked around the city at 2 a.m. But the tension, it was unbearable. Every time his arm brushed against mine, I felt electric. He was so confident, so dominant in the way he walked, the way he spoke. He didn't ask me questions about my major or my hobbies. He asked me what I was afraid of. He asked me what turned me on. He asked me things that made me blush in the dark. He made me feel exposed, but I liked it. We ended up at this grimy jazz bar that stays open late. We sat in a booth in the back. He sat on the same side as me, boxing me in against the wall. And that's when the dynamic started. He put his hand on my thigh, under the table, just resting there, heavy and warm. And he kept talking to me, looking me in the eyes, while his hand slowly moved higher. I was paralyzed. I was terrified someone would see, but I was also so incredibly turned on that I couldn't think straight. He knew it. He could see me trembling. He leaned into my ear and whispered, "Relax. No one is looking at you. They're all looking at the band. Only I'm looking at you." He challenged me. He was so daring. He would dare me to do things. "Kiss me right now," he'd say in the middle of the street. "Wear that dress I like, the one with the backless cut, and don't wear a bra." And I did it. I did all of it. For the last few weeks, I became his, I don't know, his toy, his shadow. I became a yes girl. It was intoxicating, being with someone who took charge like that. I'm always the one organizing things, worrying about grades, worrying about the apartment. With M, I didn't have to think. I just had to obey. And I wanted to. I wanted to please him so badly it was pathetic. He would text me at midnight, "Come over." And I would get out of bed, put on my shoes, and go. No questions asked. He would say, "We're going to skip class today and drive to the coast." And I would skip the lecture I needed for my final. He would tell me, "Don't speak unless I tell you to," when we were in private. And I would bite my lip and stay silent until he gave me permission. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that sounds toxic. And maybe it was. But in the moment, it felt like passion. I genuinely thought he was falling for me too. I thought this intensity, this obsession, went both ways. Because when we were alone, in the dark, he was incredible. He made me feel worshipped, even if it was in a rough way. He knew exactly what to say to make me unravel. I felt like I was the only girl in the world who could handle him, the only one he showed this side to. I started fantasizing about him constantly. I was sitting in class, drawing his initials in my notebook like a high schooler. I was checking my phone every 30 seconds, waiting for his name to pop up. I was analyzing every word he said, looking for hidden meanings, looking for a sign that he loved me. I was so submissive to him. I gave him everything. My time, my body, my secrets. I told him things about my insecurities that I haven't even told you. I let him see me completely vulnerable. I thought that created a bond. I thought that meant we were something real. But there were signs. Red flags I ignored because I was too busy staring at his lips. He never stayed the night here. He never introduced me to his friends. If we ran into people he knew, he would let go of my hand. He wouldn't introduce me as his girlfriend. He'd just say, "This is Lara," and I, like an idiot, I just smiled and nodded. I didn't want to be annoying. I didn't want to ruin the vibe. I was so scared that if I demanded more, if I asked for respect, he would just lose interest and move on to someone easier. So I kept my mouth shut. I kept saying, "Yes, yes, I'll come over. Yes, I'll do that. Yes, I'll wait for you." I was waiting for him tonight. That's why I was dressed up earlier. He texted me this afternoon saying he might be free later, that he'd let me know. Might be free. As if I was an option. As if I was a backup plan. I waited. I sat in my room, fully dressed, perfume on, staring at my phone until 11 p.m. Nothing. No text. No call. I got worried. I thought maybe something happened. Or maybe he lost his phone. So, being the desperate, lovesick fool that I was, I decided to go out and look for him. I knew he usually goes to that underground club on Thursdays, the one with the red neon sign. I walked there. It was cold. I wasn't wearing a coat because I wanted to look good for him. I got to the club, and the bouncer let me in because he recognized me from the other nights I'd been there with M. It was crowded, smoky, loud. I pushed through the bodies on the dance floor, scanning the room for that leather jacket. My heart was pounding. I was rehearsing what I would say. I was going to be playful, maybe pretend I just bumped into him. And then I saw him. He was in a booth in the corner. The same VIP booth he took me to the first week. He wasn't alone. There was a girl. A redhead. Very pretty. Very young. She was wearing a dress that looked expensive. She was sitting on his lap. I froze. I felt like someone had punched me in the stomach. I couldn't breathe. I just stood there, hidden behind a pillar, watching. He was doing the exact same thing to her that he did to me. He had his hand on her waist, pulling her close. He was leaning into her ear, whispering something that made her giggle and blush. He was looking at her with those same dark, predatory eyes, the same smirk. I watched him take a drink from her glass. I watched him brush her hair out of her face. And then she looked at him with that same look I know I have. That look of total adoration. That look of, "I will do anything you say." He didn't just meet her. You don't look at someone like that if you just met them. He had been seeing her. Maybe while he was seeing me. Maybe I was the side piece. Or maybe we are just part of a rotation. A collection of girls who say yes. I watched them for about 2 minutes. It felt like 2 hours. Then He looked up. He scanned the room, just like he did at the party. His eyes swept over the crowd, and he saw me. Our eyes locked. And you know what he did? He didn't look guilty. He didn't push her off. He didn't run after me. He just stared at me, cold and blank. And then he turned his attention back to the redhead and whispered something in her ear that made her laugh. He dismissed me, like I was nothing, like I was a stranger. I turned around and ran. I literally ran out of the club. I think I knocked over someone's drink, but I didn't care. I ran all the way back here. I cried the whole way. My mascara is probably all over my face, isn't it? Don't look at me. I must look like a raccoon. I feel so used. I feel dirty. I gave him so much power over me. I let him treat me like an object because I thought it was edgy and romantic. I thought I was special because he chose me to play his games with. But I wasn't special. I was just available. I was just the girl who didn't say no. I hate him. I really do. I hate him for making me feel this insecure. I hate him for making me wait by the phone like a teenager. But mostly, I hate myself for falling for it. How could I be so blind? I pride myself on being smart. I'm a university student. I get good grades. I have good friends. How did I let a guy with a leather jacket and a superiority complex turn me into a doormat in 4 weeks? You're holding my hand really tight. Thank you. You know, looking at you right now, listening to me, looking so angry on my behalf, it makes me realize what an idiot I've been. You've been here the whole time. You treat me with respect. You ask me how my day was. You bring me tea when I'm studying. You don't play games. Why do we chase the things that hurt us? Why did I think that anxiety was the same thing as love? My heart is broken, but my ego is shattered. But you know what? I'm done. I blocked his number in the hallway before I came into your room. I deleted our chat history. I unfollowed him. If he texts me from a different number, I'm not answering. If I see him on campus, I'm walking the other way. I'm taking my power back. No more yes, girl. The next guy who wants my attention is going to have to work for it. He's going to have to treat me like a queen, not a conquest. He's going to have to be, well, more like you. I'm sorry I dumped all this on you at, what time is it? 3 a.m.? God, I'm the worst. But I feel better now. A little bit. My chest doesn't hurt as much. Can I tell you a secret? A real secret, not a gossip one. When I ran out of the club, when I was crying on the street, the only thing I wanted was to be back here, in this apartment, with you. I just wanted to feel safe, and you make me feel safe. You're the only man I trust right now. Don't let me go back to my room yet, okay? I don't want to be alone in the dark. The silence is too loud in there. Can we just stay like this? You don't have to say anything. Just let me lay my head here on your shoulder. Yeah, like that. Your heartbeat is so steady. It's calming me down. Hey, if I fall asleep here, promise you won't draw on my face with a marker? And promise me you'll remind me of this night if I ever try to text him again. Promise me you'll take my phone away. You're the best. I don't know what I'd do without you. Honestly. Good night. Thank you for listening to my drama. I promise, next time we talk, it'll be about something happier. Maybe we can order pizza and watch that movie we missed. Just the two of us. But for now, sleep. Shh, good night. Dream of me. Only the good parts, okay?